life, if they could just love God.
Yeah.
If they could just know God. He said, you know, some people, they don't know God because they don't think they can.
Right.
Yeah.
He said, and it's still very surface, my bishop. He used to tell me it's surface. If they would just go deep.
Right.
And know God and don't allow anybody, any religion, any church, any denomination, and anything you've ever done or wanted to do stop you from knowing God.
Yes. Yes.
Neither death nor life, nor things present nor things to come. Height, depth, big hats and big handkerchiefs, or any other living thing shall never separate us from the love of God which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Gene loved his Alpha.
Yes, he did.
His Omega. And then I want to leave this with you. He gave us the theme for our anniversary.
Yes, he did.
We were in a conversation one day, and Gene had belonged to churches and connected with churches in Sacramento and Santa Rosa, times in Southern California, and the family knows well. He used to say, why can't we realize that we are one church?
My God.
Amen. That's right.
Yeah.
Why can't we get that? And why do we find so many reasons to think ourselves spiritually superior or inferior to one another? We're different. Tell your neighbor, I'm not just like you. Some of y'all don't even eat chicken.
Don't tell me they don't
It's a foreign concept to me. I can't imagine people who don't like chicken or don't like green. Sweet potatoes and cornbread. What's wrong with you people? God help you. But we are different.
Yes, we are.
But we are yet divine.
Yeah.
And do it again. We're different. But we are still divine. We are yet divine. Inhabited by, baptized in the divine. Did you hear me? Different. But still loved entirely and completely by the God who inhabits us. God in you. The mystery of the ages revealed.
My Lord.
God in you. The hope of glory. Let me leave this.
Thank you,
So
God.
I asked him a question, and this is what the preacher will be preaching about in the morning. He said, well, why is it so easy for us to be divided? And so hard for us to remain united. You notice I use the word remain because we get united. But we can't seem to stay. You know what I mean? We get united, but something happens. And the next thing we know, we find we have cause and reason to go our separate ways. And so we bantered about this issue here. And so we called our anniversary theme One Body. We'll be calling our theme for 2012 One Body.
One body.
And we're going to be very intentional about destroying the lines that divide us. Now, this is not the work for wimps.
Amen. Amen.
The first thing you got to do is get over you. Okay. That's a challenge. And so I'm going to read the passage of Scripture. And then I'm going to look for you in the morning. I'm going to let you go so you can find something, chicken, whatever, you need tonight to satisfy you before you lay down. But will you allow me? You don't need to go with me. You don't need to stand. I want you to listen to Paul's writing to the Corinthians, and I want it to seep into your spirit because I want you to think about it tonight. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
The word that I'm about to read to you It will cause you to think differently about who you are and who is the body. Gene said, why can't we get it? We are one body.
One body.
It means that without me, there is something in you that is deficient. And without you, there is something in me that is deficient. Now, you can go home and read it. It's in the 12th chapter of Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. It begins at the 4th verse. Will you let this seep before we leave you tonight? Amen. 1 Corinthians 12:4, it says, there are different kinds of spiritual gifts, but the same Spirit. Different forms of service, but the same Lord. Different workings, but the same God, who produces all of them in everyone. And to each individual, the manifestation of the Spirit is given for some benefit. To one is given through the Spirit the expression of wisdom. To another, the expression of knowledge. According to the same Spirit, to another faith, by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing, by the one Spirit, to another mighty deeds, to another prophecy, to another discernment of spirits, and to other varieties of tongues. To another, the interpretation of those tongues. How about that? But one and the same Spirit produces all of these, distributing them individually to each person as the Spirit wishes. And as the body is one, though it has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though many, are one body, so also is Christ. For in one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, whether we are Jew or Greek or slave or free, we were all given to drink of one Spirit. And may I add an addendum, even if you call it by different names, as long as you understand who you're talking about. Now the body is not a single part, but many. And if a foot should say, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body. Let me say it another way. Because I'm not like you, I do not belong to the body. Listen to this. It does not, for this reason, belong any less to the body. Tell your neighbor, I got news for you. Even if you don't like me, we're still in the body. Or if an ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I don't belong to the body. It does not, for this reason, belong any less to the body. So listen to the logic. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God placed the parts, each of them in the body as God intended. If they were all one part, then where would the body be? I like that. If we were all feet, where would the body be?
Where would it be?
But as it is, there are many parts, one body. So, the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. Nor again the head to the feet, I don't need you. Indeed, the parts of the body that seem to be weaker are the most necessary. Did anybody get that? And those parts of the body that we consider ugly, less honorable, we surround with greater honor. And our less presentable parts are treated with greater propriety. You can live without your cuteness, to give greater honor to a part that is without it, so that there may be no division in the body, and that all the parts may have the same concern for one another. Listen to me. For if one suffers, we all suffer. And if one is honored, then all of us receive joy. Now you are Christ's body, and individually you are each part of it. Some people God has designed in the church to be apostles, some prophets, some teachers with mighty deeds, gifts of healing, assistance, administration, and variety of tongues. God has called some ushers. God has called some mother's board members. God has called some deacons. God has called some cooks. God has called some outreach workers.
That's right.
God has called some people to simply listen. God has called. Are all prophets? Are all apostles? Are all teachers? Do all do mighty works? Do all have gifts of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? Then he said, strive eagerly for the greatest spiritual gifts. And now, Paul said, I will show you a more excellent way. 1 Corinthians 13:1. And if I speak with tongues of men and angels,
I hear
and
you.
not love,
I hear you. I hear you.
if I do all the things that I just mentioned
Yes.
in Corinthians 12, if I give my body to be burned, and I have not love, I'm a sounding brass
Yes.
and a tingling cymbal. If I do all the things that are expected of great church workers, if I show up for all of the important opportunities to have a microphone in my hand, and I don't have love, I am useless to the cause of Christ. For by this shall all men know, and by this shall all women know, and by this shall all people know that we are Christ's disciples. Not by the significance of our prophetic gifts. Not because we have our churchies down pat. Not because we hold positions. Not because we are deacons and pastors and leaders and auxiliary heads and bishops and prelates and apostles and messengers. Not because of any of that. But by this, shall all men know that we are Christ's disciples. Gene got this.
He got it.
That's why he said in the back, Pastor, and call